Do you own an annuity, either fixed rate, indexed, or variable? Are you paying high fees and getting low returns? If so, Annuity General would like you to have this free book to learn the pitfalls and mistakes of buying an annuity. The Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers contains the little-known truths about annuities, like how to help reduce your fees and increase retirement income. And it's free. That's right, free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report just for calling. We researched over 1,000 annuities and summarized rates and benefits from financially strong insurers. You get Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and the Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today. Hurry, supplies are limited. Call now.
800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. That's 800-760-1845.
All right, hello, this is Marcia Hawkins, and this is Elevating with Marcia. Welcome to the show today. Elevating with Marcia is a perfect way for you to elevate your business with a guest appearance on Elevating with Marcia. I invite you to direct message me on Facebook or Instagram and learn how we can feature your business, your products, your services with a red hot podcast. Let's create some super fans for your business. We'll take the hour and deliver your personal message about your business in a podcast format. You and your audience can find our show broadcasted on XM203, Sirius 217, and on the XM app at 967 Sports Byline USA Radio Network. It's also broadcasted on iHeartRadio, Amazon Audible, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, and the American Forces Radio Network. Today's show is going to be brought to you by Blue Wave Financial. Also, myhealth-quotes.com. Learn how to navigate crucial information to ensure you're able to make a knowledge-based decision when it comes to selecting the right health or life insurance plan for you and your family. It really is not advised to simply obtain a quote online without understanding underwriting guidelines. It's critical information needed to ensure you select a plan you are actually qualified for. Very important. And also elevatedmediaesq.com. We do it all from video marketing, social media management, and more. Stop by our Facebook or Instagram page at Elevating with Marcia. We post information, some sports news, business, lifestyle tips. We pretty much have the whole kitchen sink in there. A lot of ideas to help you elevate you and your business. Today's podcast on Elevating with Marcia, we're going to talk again about marketing strategies, and we're revisiting it again this week because we've got some insight that we want to talk to you about getting the right return on your investment. We're going to be touching upon my favorite go-to strategy, how to market your business. This is Marcia Hawkins on Elevating with Marcia, XM203, Sirius 217, and on the app at 967 Sports Byline USA Radio Network. We're going to take a quick break, and we come back. We're going to talk about everything. We'll probably throw in a little sports, but we're going to talk about maybe an old strategy to market your business that might be making a comeback and how you can dovetail it with podcasting and social media. Take a quick break. We'll be right back.
The world is changing so fast these days. You ever feel like you're not keeping up personally or professionally? Enter Elevated Media ESQ. Elevating with Marcia allows you to advertise in a form you never thought possible. They feature a business in an interview-type fashion, which is comfortable, amazingly affordable, and flexible. Not only that, the feature on your business is then formulated into a podcast for convenient, on-demand listening 24/7, 365. These times we're living in demand a different, clearer, more concise message. Does this sound like how you feel about how you market and advertise your business? Reach out today, no matter how big or small your business is. Elevating with Marcia is highly effective, and you'll be so grateful for the superfans she'll create. Email hello@elevatedmediaesq.com. Elevated Media ESQ, changing your business for the better.
Angie's List is now Angie. Summer is the perfect time to book your next home project. From lawn care to a new patio, Angie makes it simple to connect with pros who can get the job done right. See reviews, upfront pricing, and instantly book hundreds of projects. Plus, when you book and pay through Angie, we'll cover your project up to the full purchase price, plus limited damage protection with our Happiness Guarantee. Check out Angie.com, and for more on the Happiness Guarantee, go to Angie.com/happiness-guarantee.htm.
Ron Barr here. Now that people are getting out and exercising more, I want to recommend Relief Factor to you. Relief Factor helps those exercise-related pains and general muscle aches and pains. Now, if you're going to be working in the garden, you're going to be using your hands a lot. And if your hands hurt, listen to what Julia Brown had to say about using Relief Factor.
I had pain in my hands that kept me from work and doing projects around the home. I heard about Relief Factor on the radio and began taking it, and it left me with pain-free hands again. I was able to do the things around the house that I enjoy doing. I'm so glad I found Relief Factor.
100 million Americans suffer from ongoing pain due to aging, exercise, overexertion, and the effects of everyday living. Be sure to check out Relief Factor at relieffactor.com or give them a call at 800-500-8384. That's 800-500-8384.
Between jobs, retiring, or just need health or life insurance, please visit myhealth-quotes.com or call 833-687-5261. Before you try to get a quote online, call us. We will provide you with the information most sites will not. We teach you exactly what life or health insurance plan you qualify for, how to use your plan, and maximize your benefits. We provide you with the information to make a knowledge-based decision to ensure selecting the right plan. myhealth-quotes.com to schedule an appointment.
All right, everyone, welcome back. This is Marcia Hawkins on Elevating with Marcia on Sirius XM 203, Sirius 217, and on the XM app at 967 Sports Byline USA Radio Network. Today, we're going to be talking about marketing your business, new strategies. We talk an awful lot about marketing your business via podcast, which, of course, given that you're listening to me right now, is one of my favorite strategies, and for many reasons. And I'm bringing it back again this week because I want to bring in a new concept that I think is going to kind of help you kind of digest a little bit where marketing, I believe, is going in the balance of 2021 and 2022. And I do want to expand upon that a little bit more this week. And I want to talk about a couple of things that I think will dovetail very nicely with podcasting. I have Michael back with me again in studio, and we're going to be discussing how to best retain and obtain new clients, customers, and patients for your business. Hi, Mike.
Hello there. Thanks, Marcia. Glad to be here.
Awesome. So, we've talked in the last few weeks, we talked about how podcasting is red hot, and it is. A lot of people may not realize that podcasting was actually dubbed after the iPod. Back in, 40 years ago, believe it or not, I can't even believe I'm saying that, kind of dating myself. When blogging, even 20 years before the internet came out, blogging was a very powerful means to communicate. The problem was nobody had distribution for the podcast. Bring on the iPod, and all of a sudden you have an audience. But even then, it still lacks distribution, which you really have to have a podcast where it's actually distributed and disseminated to your listening audience. So podcasting, we know, is red hot. And how I feel that can dovetail into what I'm about to talk about is in that you have to have a powerful way to get your message out. Agree?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's the key. Got to be powerful.
Absolutely. So when we talk about podcasting, most of them are about an hour long, sometimes 2 hours long. They're conversational, they're informational, and they broadcast your information. But one of the old strategies, and I cannot remember the title of the book, and I'll have to look it up and put it in the comments of the rebroadcast, but it talks about how one of the most powerful forms of marketing is word of mouth. And you could make the case that with social media, what better format, and with podcasting, what better format to have that concept kind of carry the ball for you. Social media, I mean, you can put so much information on there. There's a lot of people that are very happy to come on your social media page and give you a review, good, bad, or indifferent. As we know, social media is just in my opinion, it can be a cesspool of information sometimes, not the information you want sometimes. But with that said, what are your thoughts about why word of mouth, it really can be utilized probably so much more powerful than any other form of marketing?
Well, I think you could call word of mouth word of your communication device, which is your cell phone, your iPad, your computer. And it's you really if you think about what the technology's done, you can talk one-on-one. That's word of mouth. You talk on a social media or one of your communication devices, talking to hundreds or thousands of people.
That's a good point. And I think that with word of mouth, though, when I think back of, the businesses I've run or, that I've owned, that it was always woven into whatever strategy that I was planning on doing with marketing or advertising. It was always with the design that there would be word of mouth that would be the end result of that. I'll give you an example of that. I used to have a retail store, and right before the major holidays, Thanksgiving, the holiday season, really that whole, like running right into mid-January, I used to strategically have sales, knowing full well that if somebody came into my store and purchased something and wore it to Thanksgiving Day dinner and someone commented on it, I knew that would probably procure, if nothing else, somebody that out of curiosity would go to my website or come into my shop or whatever. I can tell you with 100% regularity that was the end result. And I was very, very surgical about how I crafted those sales, and it was by design. But I feel like we've kind of gotten away from word of mouth advertising. I feel, in the present climate that we're in, I'm going to back COVID out of it. So just kind of throw that away for right now. But in any normal business climate, I think too many businesses, and I touched upon this a little bit last week, they are solely relying on, the search engines, search engine optimization. Now, mind you, I do all that. But I still believe that they're overlooking that one element, which is word of mouth advertising.
Well, you're absolutely right. The example that you gave, that somebody purchased something from your retail shop, wore it on Thanksgiving, that's your reputation that they're talking about. And so they purchase this thing. Somebody looks at it, wow, where'd you get that? So you've created a culture that people are going to admire, respect, and it's going to drive more traffic. No question about it.
Invariably, when I would open up for Black Friday, somebody would come running in the door. They'd be waiting for me. I had several times I had people that would call and say, what time are you opening? I want to come in. I'm only in town for the weekend. And they would walk in the door and say, oh, my sister-in-law showed up at Thanksgiving Day dinner and she had this on. And where is it in the shop? The other thing too that I was, very well known for in the area was my windows. I was always very good about inviting, potential customers into my shop. And again, I think of, when I think of a window, a brick and mortar window, I think of somebody's website, how that looks, and I think how their social media is portrayed. For a business owner, if you're a restaurant, let's just say you're, maybe an average to, maybe an upper end Italian restaurant, and you're in a town of 50,000 and there's say 30. And I'm not talking chain restaurants. I don't feel that they're in the same realm, but they're trying to obviously bring in new customers and retain the ones that they have. I use restaurants a lot because personally, I think it's one of the hardest industries to be in. Costs, employees. I mean, it really is a very difficult. You don't get into the restaurant business unless you really like to work. Agreed?
Yes. In fact, I know some restaurant owners, and they asked me one time, they said, do you know how to make $1 million in the restaurant business? And I said, no, how? He goes, start with 2.
That's too funny. No, but it's true. It is. Tough business. Yeah, it really, really is. And so I think that if you're going to solely rely on, your social media presence and reviews, and let's face it, and I'm going to delve into this a little bit more in the next segment, how reviews, in my opinion, I've had several clients that I've dealt with over the years that, they've said to me, I've got terrible reviews online. How can I fix that? I want to whack them over the head and say, you got to be kidding me. The best way to get rid of bad reviews is to have good ones. And several of them actually admitted to me that they would have family members, employees, and even themselves go online and write reviews. There's a dirty little secret out there that Google will actually penalize you for that. If you try to go on there, they flag the IPs of the business. And if you go on to do that, in some cases, and I believe now they actually reject the review altogether. So it's kind of, I just don't think. A lot of times when I've built a website for a client, they'll say, okay, great. And they immediately think that it's just going to, drip traffic, and nothing could be further from the truth. I built you the website. Now, if you want me to market it, I can help you do that. But just because you built a website and you think it's the latest and greatest and the best thing since sliced bread does not mean that traffic is automatically going to flow to that website. But that's what they think. I mean, I know that, we've collaborated on a few, meetings with clients, and aren't you amazed at how many times we get in there? And that's their biggest complaint about the reviews.
Oh, absolutely. And you mentioned about the website. We said this before. People think business owners are great restaurateurs, but they know nothing about the web and computers or anything else. And so they build the website. They think that's the end, and it's only the beginning. And it's foolish how they think like that.
Yeah, or my favorite, when they send over something and they want you to, here's a picture, a brochure, I put it on my website. And I'm like, well, where do you want me to put it? Just put it on the website. Well, if I was a contractor building you a house and you said, go hang this picture, well, I could hang it in the basement if you want. I mean, to their credit, they really don't understand it sometimes. And I get that. And I try to explain that. But as I've said, in sales and marketing, a lot of the initial part of that is really an education, especially when you're talking with someone who's a little bit older and really ran a business long before the internet was around. They're really trying to struggle and trying to figure out how to navigate a really complex business environment. But we have to take a break. This is Elevating with Marcia on XM 203, Sirius 217, and on the Sirius XM app 967 Sports Byline USA Radio Network. We'll be right back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Have you written a book? You can become a published author with Dorrance Publishing, the nation's oldest publishing services company. Countless authors have trusted Dorrance for nearly 100 years to bring their book to the market. Our professional team will edit your text, design your book pages, and create an appealing, eye-catching custom cover. Plus, our authors benefit from a custom book promotion marketing campaign that makes your book available where people buy books, like Amazon and brick-and-mortar bookstores. So make this free call right now to claim your free author's guide to publishing. Don't wait another day. Take one step closer to realizing your dream of becoming a published author and seeing your name in print. You've already written a book, so the next thing to do is make this free call right now to Dorrance Publishing and get your free guide to publishing. Call right now.
800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. That's 800-485-6003.
I'm going to tell you how you can get real health care for as little as $6 a day. Yes, now you can get affordable health care for you and your family immediately and save as much as 50% off your current monthly health care payments. Our plans are perfect for people that are self-employed, can't afford health benefits where they work, or just want to pay less for their current health care. And coverage is guaranteed regardless of your medical condition. We even offer some of the new Christian faith-based health benefits. Save up to 50% on your family's health care. Make a free quick call now. There are no contracts, and we give you a 10-day money-back trial period. Call Provision Enrollment right now for your risk-free, guaranteed health insurance quote starting at $6 a day.
800-472-5145. 800-472-5145. That's 800-472-5145.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Marcia Hawkins on Elevating with Marcia on Sirius XM 203, Sirius 217, and on the XM app at 967 Sports Byline USA Radio Network. We're back talking about old school marketing and how word of mouth advertising, in my opinion, should make a roaring comeback. And if you're a business owner and you're not incorporating that into your marketing strategy, why you may be making a big mistake. So with word of mouth advertising, I cannot tell you how many times, and I gave this example on a previous show, how I had gone down to Boston. I was at Boston Copley Plaza, a very well-known a landmark in Boston. Went down there. I don't remember why, but of course, I incorporated a shopping trip into it. And I remember I walked into a new store that I had never been into before. It was probably around, I want to say, maybe 14 by 20. Very tiny store, very, very tiny store. I remember walking in there, and the first thing that hit me was, beside the obvious, but what really struck me was how many people were in the store. For such a small store, it was absolutely jam-packed. I wanted to try something on and was told that I had to make an appointment, and there was a 45-minute wait just to use the fitting room. It was that busy. I immediately went over to the counter and said, "Are you guys publicly traded? And if so, what is your symbol? Like, I need to buy this stock." So I actually called my dad and I told him about the stock, and he laughed and said, "Oh, I'm not buying that retail stock. Retail stocks are in the toilet right now." And he was, going on and on about it. I bought it. I want to say at a couple dollars a share, and I think I dumped it at about $89 a share. I made some decent money on it. But, those are the things that I look for. And obviously, I spread the word about this store, and everyone else did, because then the store, multiplied by gangbusters. And it was just really, interesting to me that there was the author of the book is escaping me at the moment, but that was one of the strategies I had learned from this man. I can't think of his name. It'll probably come to me by the end of the show, but he was talking about always pay attention to to the trends. And he was basically solidifying my belief that word of mouth advertising is the best that you can do. You go into a store, a restaurant, you stay at a resort, you fly in a plane, you buy a car, whatever that experience is, and it's an experience. That's really what it comes down to. It is an experience. When you have an experience like that ultimately is what's going to get people talking about your business. Social media, I understand it's a necessity for a business owner. You have to have a social media presence, but I got to tell you, I see the climate of social media changing quite considerably, especially in the last couple of years. But I think there's going to be even more changes on the horizon for the likes of Facebook and Instagram. But that to me is ultimately how a business would garner a review, if you will, is really providing the ultimate experience.
Absolutely. We've said this many, many times. Reputation is king. Good or not so good. Mm-hmm. You had a wonderful experience, and it's something you'll never forget. And you've told me, you've told hundreds of people, probably put it on social media also. And I think it's really important that the business owner has to look at the customer and it's all about the experience. Make the experience great. They're going to tell everybody.
Yeah, my husband and I were in a restaurant last week, and the owner always comes over, big hug, hi, Marcia, Mitch, how you doing? Big hug, and wants to make sure everything's great. And in fact, he's actually going to be on the show, I believe, next week. And he was, it's an experience. It's how we always feel when we leave that. Now, I will tell you, I've gone to some of my favorite restaurants before, and it hasn't been 100%. The food has not been 100%. Sometimes the food's taken a really long time to come out, but you know what? I don't care, because I like the owner. I like how I'm treated when I'm there. And if they have an off night, I'm okay with that. I really am. That's not going to propel me onto social media and start, slamming a restaurant. Obviously, ones that I patronize all the time, I'm not going to do that too. But I feel like that's what people do. And I almost think social media is kind of putting gasoline on a well-stoked fire when it comes to reviews and all of that, because people love to be heard and to tell you about what a horrible experience they have. And we've talked a million times about how many times people, they might have a good experience, but they don't think to go on, social media or Yelp or, any of the review sites to actually highlight they had a good one.
No, that's very true. In your experience at the restaurant, one of your favorite restaurants, you kind of have to stop and think, and especially today with all what's going on in the world, you don't know that perhaps they had this huge delivery order and that's backed up the kitchen. And it really comes down to, are you going out to eat or are you going out to dine? If you're going out to dine, take your time and enjoy it. If you're going out to eat, have it delivered.
Yeah. Well, delivery is so popular, right now for sure. But no, it's very true. In fact, the owner came down and actually sat down with us, and he was, we were just, talking small talk. And one of the servers went by and he said, I think you got to go back to table 12 or whatever it was. And someone was upset with the server, and Sean, one of the servers who we love, who was actually taking care of us that night, came over and he said, yeah, that was about me. And I said, what happened? He said, the client, customer, whatever, it had kind of unrealistic expectations. He wanted something we simply don't offer, and he was mad about it. So, I mean, you can't make everybody happy, but I honestly, and like I said, there's times where I go into my favorite restaurants and it's not 100%. And I'm really okay with that. I mean, I've had dinner parties where maybe I wasn't on my game with my blue cheese penne, it happens. But a lot of times people, I don't know. It's like they, in some ways, I mean, I've been in restaurants before and been in business, been inside businesses where I have seen patrons absolutely take the roof off a place because they were so unhappy. And that is not my strategy at all. I would never expect to remediate a problem by creating another problem.
No, absolutely. And they'll remember you too. And you don't want something special from the kitchen.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. But it does really boil down to, I mean, I know, and I am being completely honest. I love this restaurant so much that, and I'm sure Drew's going to be on with us. It's Highbrow in Northampton, which I'm probably going to regret saying that on the air because I love this restaurant so much, and I'm always able to get. Maybe I should make that part of the contract. That he's going to have to make sure I have a table there. I'm totally kidding. But it's a great restaurant. It's in downtown Northampton, Massachusetts. It's a wonderful place. And Drew, the owner, and all of the staff there. He's got a great staff there. The food is delicious. It's a fine dining restaurant, but they have a quite a mixed menu, which I love. They have signature cocktails. It's a really, really good place, and it's wonderful. And kind of a funny story. I'm segueing into how I ended up going there one night. It used to be a pizzeria, which we used to go to. We had a really bad experience there. We never went back. It was under new ownership prior to Drew taking it over. Drew bought it. And right at the onset of COVID, someone had gone in on Facebook and wrote this horrible review, which was then picked up by a publication out of Worcester, who's known for highlighting businesses or people who have maybe not done some very nice things, which I'm not going to mention who it is. But they had done a story on his restaurant, how he had taken a picture with some patrons and his mask during COVID had slipped down just a little bit. And these people just trashed him. And so I said to my husband, you know what, let's go in there. Like, I feel bad. Like, I mean, people are really trying really hard to survive this whole COVID thing. and there's someone trashing this guy. He just dumped a boatload of money to buy this place. So we went in there and I introduced myself. I recognized him from the post on Facebook, and I introduced myself, and, the rest is history. We've been best friends. And like I said, there's been a couple of times we've been in there, and one night, our food took too long and our reservation got messed up, and he made, brought us over a, dessert or a cocktail or something like that. And, he's just very much integrated into the customer service side of that restaurant, which is one of the reasons why he's so successful.
It's all about it, the experience, customer service experience, period. And you make and you'll never forget this guy either. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and I can say most of the places, that I do, solicit, and I bring my business to, I do for that reason. It's all about the experience. So, I know social media really has its place, but I do on the horizon, much like I keep saying about websites, I honestly believe this. Without any hesitation on my part, websites are going to go away, and I think they're going away quicker than I even thought. I always thought it would be about 5-year mark. I do think they're going to go away even faster. Apps are where it's at. Much like that, I do believe social media is also going to be going through some incredible changes in the next couple of years.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. It's got a horrible reputation, a lot of it.
Yeah, we talked before we came on air about some of the directions that Instagram and Facebook are taking, and it's I'll leave it at that, because we do need to take a break. This is Marcia Hawkins on Elevating with Marcia on XM 203, Sirius 217, and on the XM app at 967 Sports Byline USA Radio Network. You can also find me on iHeartRadio, Amazon Audible, Stitcher, iTunes, Tuned In, and the American Forces Radio Network. We're going to take a quick break and come right back.
If you're not using podcasting for your business, you will. Not having a podcast is like not having a website. Hi, this is Marcia Hawkins of Elevating with Marcia on Sirius XM Channel 211, the Dan Patrick Channel. You can get your business on my podcast. It's a great way to create superfans for your business with a controlled message in a news format. What better way to get in front of your intended audience, your clients, your customers, or patients? Please contact me at hello@elevatedmediaesq.com about getting your business on my show, Elevating with Marcia. We also can create a personalized podcast that you can use on your website or social media channels. Contact me at hello@elevatedmediaesq.com and join me on Elevating with Marcia on Sirius XM Channel 211, the Dan Patrick Channel.
My doctor prescribed me Viagra. It wasn't covered by my insurance, so it was costing me like $65 a pill. That's expensive.
Over 20 million guys like us use Viagra. Over a certain age, we just need it. I found a way to pay less than $3 a pill and get virtually the same effect of the $65 pill. I heard an ad just like this on the radio, called, and for $99, I got 40 generic versions of the $65 pill. Save yourself money and call right now and get over 40 pills for $99. There's no embarrassment here to use Viagra. If we're over 50, we need it, but not at high prices. Call now with your credit card and get the 40 pill special for just $99.
800-399-3691. 800-399-3691. That's 800-399-3691.
The double play!
It's baseball season, and you're ready to go all out. So you ordered the essentials to make game day a success, like a jersey, a power recliner, and a bigger screen. And you used your Bank of America customized cash rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping. Rewards that you put toward an essential piece of the celebration, an air horn. Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2021, Bank of America Corporation.
Between jobs, retiring, or just need health or life insurance, please visit myhealth-quotes.com or call 833-687-5261. Before you try to get a quote online, call us. We will provide you with the information most sites will not. We teach you exactly what life or health insurance plan you qualify for, how to use your plan, and maximize your benefits. We provide you with the information to make a knowledge-based decision to ensure selecting the right plan. myhealth-quotes.com to schedule an appointment.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Marcia Hawkins, and this is Elevating with Marcia. We're talking about marketing strategies, and what we're specifically talking about today is word-of-mouth advertising. Now, a lot of people are thinking that's really gone away with social media, pay-per-click, search engine optimization. So let's kind of recap a little bit. What are the top forms of marketing online are really search engine optimization, social media management, video marketing, social media management. There's a lot of people that, you can pay to manage your social media pages. But ultimately, I'm not sure that it's the right strategy for small to mid-sized business owners. I believe for the likes of some of the larger corporations, social media is obviously very necessary. But I'm not quite sure that it translates into small to mid-sized business. It's very difficult to keep up with it. How many times have we been in a meeting where we've talked to a business owner and they're like, I know I need it, but I don't like it. Like, I don't have time for it. I don't understand it. Half the time we post stuff on social media, we get trash. I mean, I've seen some businesses absolutely annihilated on the internet. And I get it. I totally understand why businesses, are just really frustrated with how they're going to manage all of that, which is why when you think back to word of mouth marketing and word of mouth advertising, it really comes down to somebody sharing the information. Now, while it can be shared at record pace on social media, I can't tell you how many times that we've heard somebody talk about a restaurant or someone has gone somewhere and, posted that on social media. So that obviously is the digital form of word of mouth advertising. We get all that. But honestly, I prefer when I have had a restaurant recommended to me or a store or a resort or a vacation destination or whatever. I always prefer listening to someone talk about it because there's nothing more real, in my opinion, of actually listening to somebody because you can hear in their voice, how genuine it is when they really had a good experience.
No, you're absolutely right. And you think about the social media, for example, Facebook. You've got, who are your friends? There are people you went to high school with, people you've met throughout your life. They're local. You put something in there nice about a restaurant. You're telling people that are right in that community to go to Northampton, to go to Highbrow or whatever. Right. Super important. That mom and pop restaurant, Drew's Restaurant, doesn't have the money or even the skills to go and put all this stuff out there to try to draw business. Word of mouth is what's going to make it happen.
Yeah, and a lot of the the smaller restaurants, the mom and pop restaurants, they are doing it. I mean, they are running their social media, but it just takes a couple of people to kind of go in and ruin it. And I invite anybody who's had a good experience to parlay that into a positive review or a post on Facebook, because right now these businesses, aside from COVID, they have a tough hill to climb regardless of what's going on now with, you throw the COVID into it and all of the restrictions and so forth. It's really tough. I know my husband and I really tried to support as many of those restaurants that we could during COVID because we knew they were struggling. They would always ask when we would place the order, on the phone, if we wanted to throw in a tip, we'd throw it in and then we'd tip them again when we got there and picked up our food, because we know how important it is for them to survive. I wanted to make sure that they didn't, go out of business during COVID. And I wanted to make sure that, when they came back, they'd come back at 100%. And, over the years, these people have become like family to us, especially on nights I don't want to cook.
Yeah, exactly. That's so funny. Yeah, I just think it's so important. It's all about we've said it a few times now, it's the experience, customer service and experience. it's good, you're going to talk about it. If it's not, unfortunately, king's reputation is king. More bad things are going to be talked about than good things.
Yeah, for sure. And, as we talked about earlier, when people were talking about how do I get rid of all these negative reviews online? And again, I can't be any clearer about that message. It's by making sure that the experiences that people are having coming into your establishment are going to warrant someone to want to go on Yelp or, Facebook or Instagram or whatever and post a positive review. And for some reason, I think some people, I think they fantasize about being a restaurateur or a business owner, but they're really not quite in full receipt of the level of work that goes into that. I mean, I talked about that show, was it Restaurant Impossible or Bar Rescue? And
Right.
And he's like, what are you doing in the restaurant industry? You have no experience. You have no idea. I mean, he's really tough with those people for sure. But I kind of get it, because the last thing he wants to do is salvage their business, be able to get them to a point, renovate it, provide them with the tools that they need. The biggest tool that they need in that toolbox is their ability to run that business. And a lot of times they're coming in, with no experience or a little experience.
Well, we have a mutual friend that bought a tavern next town over. And I said to him, why, this is great. He goes, I really, this is what I always wanted to do. Didn't have a clue. He doesn't have it anymore. It's gone.
Yeah, it's tough. You don't want to hear those kinds of stories, but the restaurant business is not one that you dip your toe into lightly, thinking that it's going to be a 9-to-5 job. Most people that own restaurants will tell you, it is a marriage. And a lot of times, you're putting in, 12, 16, 18 hours a day, and it's nonstop. I mean, how many times do they, leave the business maybe to go take a break or a vacation, and everybody will tell you that's owned a restaurant, it's nothing but phone calls and text messages and emails like this is going wrong and that's going wrong. And you depend on so many moving parts with a restaurant, or any business for that matter, but restaurants specifically. You've got the food service deliveries, you have the supplies, the linens, the, cleaning, there's so much that goes into that. The Board of Health, you have so many things that you have to, bring into compliance in order to have that restaurant opened, that it's tough. And then, again, not to be redundant, but, you throw COVID into the mix and forget it.
Well, I think if a restaurant owner who first starts out, if he or she ever took the time to see what they were getting paid per hour, they probably wouldn't open up the restaurant.
That's probably a good point. Yeah, I mean, I talk about restaurants because when I've talked with clients over the years, when I've spoken to them over the years, they all say the same thing. You just have no idea. I can't keep up with the reviews. I can't keep up with social media. My website's a mess. I got to redo my menus. The cook just left, and my hostess is out on maternity. I mean, they pull their hair out trying to figure it out. But it does go back. There obviously is a responsibility on that business owner to ensure you can't expect a positive review or someone going out and talking positively about your business if you're not providing that experience. But I totally get it. I think us as consumers have to recognize another industry that I feel bad for all the time is real estate agents. I'm going to have a real estate agent on in the next couple of weeks. She's wonderful. She's out of Tampa, Florida. And, I was talking to her a while back, and we were talking about how when someone goes to sell their house, they think it's worth X amount of dollars. And then when they go to buy a house, they want to lowball. It's like, okay, so let me get this right. Your house is worth X amount of dollars. However, the house you want to buy is way below market value. And it's kind of funny. I think people need to really be realistic in their perceptions of one's business and how they perceive things, because sometimes it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very great analogy. You're selling the house. You're not going to show them all the things that are wrong with it, but if you're going to buy one, you're going to find every one of them.
Yeah, I don't know what the rest of the country's like, but I know in Massachusetts right now, the average home inspections coming in at over 100 pages. They are, well, yeah, I know. I can see your mouth going, you got to be kidding me. Well, the reason why is liability. So if someone buys a house and they have a home inspection, that home inspector wants to make, darn sure that they're not going to get a phone call saying, you told me the furnace was okay. I moved in and it blew up. So it's kind of a CYA kind of, mentality. But these people are paying just to even have a house inspected. And of course, this market's red hot right now. They're paying upwards to, a couple $1,000s for these reports. Now, my husband's a contractor, so he gets the calls and he always laughs because he has the homeowner calling saying, what'd you think of the report? And then you have the person buying the home, and the conversation is kind of funny because they're coming. It's just like they're jockeying for, yeah, exactly. They're trying to massage the conversation so that they come out on top. Now, I get that. I totally understand that. But when you have that same person buying that house, but then you have to go do the inspection on their house, they come at it from the mind of a seller, not a buyer. Really interesting. So you have to really step back and recognize that while you might be on the short end of the stick sometimes, if you're the seller and you've got to put a new roof on or you've got to replace the heating system, it's the same thing. So you have a responsibility as a consumer and as a business owner to be a little bit more objective.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Interesting. The difference, the mindset of the buyer and the seller. Amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
Even when you go into a retail store, you'll see that sometimes people will go in and, I was in Las Vegas for a wedding, and I realized I wanted to get a different dress. So I went shopping, found a dress, and I realized that I thought the zipper was broken on the dress. And I said, is this zipper supposed to be like this? And he said, I'm not taking any money off it. And that was not where I was going with it. But I wanted to make sure that it wasn't defective because I wasn't going to buy it if it was defective. But he immediately took the position I was trying to take money off it. And I wasn't at all. I was just merely trying to find out whether or not it was defective. And I apologized to him. I said, I hope you didn't think that was my intent, because it wasn't.
Well, that's interesting, because I'm sure there are people out there that they'll do a little tampering to say, oh, look at this doesn't work, so I want something off of it. Yeah.
Kind of drives me crazy. I mean, on one hand, I totally get it. Everyone wants the best price. They want the best service. They want all of that. But part of having a good experience is being a good consumer. And I think sometimes people forget that. And if people want to, I always try to put myself in the place of the business owner. I try to put myself in the place of as the consumer. If I'm the consumer, I try to look at it from multiple angles, just to ensure that, people, aren't taken advantage of.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. To wrap it up, it's all about the experience, and the owner makes it a great experience. You're going to tell people word of mouth.
Absolutely. And I think word of mouth, as it translates into a podcast, it is word of mouth advertising for you. All right. We do need to take a quick break. This is Elevating with Marcia on XM 203, Sirius 217, and on the Sirius XM app at 967 Sports Byline, USA Radio Network. You can find me on iHeartRadio, Amazon Audible, Stitcher, iTunes, and the American Forces Radio Network. We'll be right back.
Do you have a story to share? Your story. Lifetime Private Autobiography Services can help. We will interview you by video or phone to get your memories in your words using your pictures. Our staff of talented writers will then recreate your story into a beautifully handcrafted book. You'll receive 10 individual copies for friends and family to enjoy for generations to come. Visit privateautobiography.com to schedule a free consultation. Mention this ad for a bonus audio recording from your personal interviews. To get started, visit privateautobiography.com or call 844-921-2802. That's 844-921-2802. Remember and be remembered with this gift of a lifetime.
At 28, I had struggled with opiate and meth addiction for 12 years. I did and said things that the sober me never would have done. One day I realized I was not invincible. I was not exempt. And that's when a friend told me about elite rehab placement. They gave me the tools I needed to get sober, and all it took was the one phone call.
Elite Rehab can help you start to break your addiction problem and get sober in as little as 7 days. And we'll work with your insurance provider to help cover the costs. Plus, we have travel assistance programs to get you here by plane or train. Make this free call right now to learn more. 800-403-5912. 800-403-5912. 800-403-5912. That's 800-403-5912.
Hello and welcome back to the Ronnie Deutsch Tax Program. On the line is Paul from California. Hi, Paul. What's your tax problem today?
Hi, Ronnie. Love your show. Listen, I've got a big problem. You see, my paycheck was garnished last week, and I'm only getting half the normal amount. To make matters worse, the IRS froze my bank account. Listen, I'm embarrassed and scared. I need some help.
Listen, Paul, you don't need to feel embarrassed. You just need some tax help. And the great news is the IRS has some unbelievable programs that can eliminate your tax debt so you don't have to worry about having your paycheck garnished or your bank levied. Doesn't that sound great?
It sure does, Ronnie.
Then do yourself a huge favor and get a free consultation right now and tell them the tax lady sent you.
855-715-5721. 855-715-5721. 855-715-5721. That's 855-715-5721.
All right, everybody, we're out in 2, and I want to thank you for tuning in and joining me today to talk about what I do best, communicate. Another podcast of Elevating with Marcia is in the books on XM 203, Sirius 217, and on the Sirius XM app 967 Sports Byline USA Radio Network. You can also find me on iHeartRadio, Amazon Audible, Stitcher, Tuned In, and the American Forces Radio Network, my favorite. Today's show is brought to you by BlueWaveFinancial.com, myhealth-quotes.com, and Elevated Media ESQ. Also stop by marciahawkins.com for rebroadcasts of this show. I'd love to connect with you on Facebook or Instagram. If you're interested in getting your business on Elevating with Marcia, we invite you to direct message us on Facebook or Instagram at Elevating with Marcia. We can take the hour and talk about your business, your products, your services. We can talk about your reviews if you want, or if you have a cause that you wish to promote. Podcasting is red hot right now and a great vehicle to drive sales and awareness to your business. The 1 hour podcast is going to allow you to connect directly to your intended audience with your message like never before. In addition, your podcast helps providing rich content you can utilize on all your social media channels. It's a great message to post on all of your channels. It's a powerful marketing investment and a strategic means to link your business with a new customer, clients, or a patient. If you're a business owner looking to market your business with a podcast, direct message me for details via Instagram or Facebook. That is all for today on Elevating with Marcia on Sports Byline USA Radio Network. Remember, always, always be in the minute to win it, and I hope you make it a great week. Adios.